Hi, welcome back. So this is the second video of the Techlog series. In this video, we'll be learning how to plot the data and we will learn some more options in the Techlog software. Okay, so in the previous video, we learned how to load the data, how to load the LAS files, how to load the survey file and calculate the TVD for it so that we can uh, plot some data. We'll be learning and loading more data sets uh, so that we can see how the other data set can get loaded in the system. Not everything can be dragged and dropped. Like for example, if you want to upload the lithology data, the interpretation lithology, you have to use a different option. In the latest version, you might see an option of the lithology loader right in front in the home tab. Okay, so let's do some basic plotting and see from where we can plot, and then you can try yourself. And if you have any problem, you can always contact me, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so to plot this data, we can use this next option, plot. If we click on it, you will see that we have a log view option. I'll click on it and it will show a empty canvas which you can use to plot the data. So we can always drag the whole well to it and it will plot everything available, all the curves available in all 3 or 4 data sets, whatever you have. It will plot everything in here. So let me show you that. So if I drag the whole well, just click and drag, you will see there is a lot of data. Let me zoom out and I'll let you know how to zoom out and zoom in and change the scales. So you can see everything is get plotted, and we don't want to see this in this way. We want to use in a different flat format, and um, maybe we want to plot only the GR or the resistivity. So I'll close this window and I'll click on log view again so that we have an empty canvas. Then I'll go into our first data set and let's plot the gamma ray log. So I'll click the gamma ray set channel, sorry, and drag it on the empty canvas. And now you can see it has plotted in a default format. Whatever the default format for this data set is, it has plotted that. So we'll be discussing the header later. So in this canvas, you can see we have 2 different freezed options. So one is at the upper part, which is the fixed part, and as you can like have an idea that this is showing only the header part of the log, and whereas the rest of the log is at the bottom. All right. Okay. So associated to that, if we go back to home, here you will see a full screen option. So you can always hide these option if you are not using this and you want to only work on the project thing. You can always hide these like by clicking here and hide to the right side, then clicking here and hide to the left side. Now you have more space to work if you have multiple curves, so many curves to deal with. There is another option. You don't need if you have multiple windows available. So I'll pin it again. I'll pin the properties again so that once I'll be selecting something, I can see the properties. If you want to like just expand the plotting canvas, click on this full screen and it will hide everything automatically. And if you will stop it, it will give you the option back. So this is a shortcut I want to show you. Okay. So once we plotted the gamma ray, you can see it has plotted in a default format. How this works. So you will always have the reference column on the left, and then you will have the log channel you have tried to plot. You can always use the mouse scroll to move up and down. And here on the left top, you can see the scale is 1:200, which you can always click in the empty area, go to the limits, and here you can see scale 1:200. If I'll open it, you will see multiple options available. If you want to see it in a 1:500 scale, you can click in here. There is another option. You can click on, sorry, you can press the control button in your keyboard and move the scroll wheel, move the mouse wheel up or down, and you will see the scale is getting changed. So if you scroll up, you will see the scale is getting enlarged. If you will scroll down, you will see the window will get narrowed down and you will have a higher scale, 1:2000 in our case at this moment. And this is the scale change. If you want to zoom it in or out, you have to use the keyboard. the mouse. Otherwise, it will be a bit difficult in the touchpad. So while using the mouse, you can click with the mouse wheel and move your mouse up or down so that you can see the zoomed part. Similarly, if you want to move on the right side, if you have multiple wells plotted, you can always select this hand from the left menu strip, which is visible once we have plotted something in it. So if I'll click on the hand and I will move left or right, I can move it sideways. All right. So I'll click on the arrow key again. And if I click on the header GR, now you see the menu has changed. Now all the properties associated with this gamma ray curve, you can see everything in here. So you can have a title to it, which let's change it. Let me call it gamma ray. So as soon as I'll type in and hit enter, you will see the log name got changed, gamma ray. If you don't want to make a change, just remove it and you will have nothing in it. But if you will drop it another time, you will see the GR name of the channel will be seen in here. So what I did, I basically selected and dragged it. If you will drag it on the left side, it will still plot on the right side. This is the default. If you want to plot it, or plot multiple curves on the same track, you can always do that. We'll be seeing that shortly. Now we have three channels plotted. So what I can do, I can remove these by selecting the first track, then pressing the control button, select another track, press delete from your keyboard and hit enter. So you will get rid of the extra plots. Mm. Let me plot another time and delete this channel, which doesn't have any name. All right. So I'll click on the menu again, and here I can see the variable type is variable, and I can see the family. So this X horizontal axis is getting plotted by the family. So the default value in the family is 150, which we can always change it from the menu, which we will be discussing in later videos. So here you can change the scale. Either you can keep family, variable, or user. So if you will use variable, what will happen? Whatever the minimum and maximum value in this variable is available, that will get used as the minimum and maximum values, which I don't think so you are going to use once you will be having the consistency for multiple wells. It's good to have a fixed value so that that can accommodate and we can see the trend changes. So if I use the users, it will allow you the change. So hit 0 in here and maybe 250, or let's keep 200 for this particular example. So now I'm successfully able to change the scale, the horizontal scale. And if you select any of the curve, it will show you from which depth to end depth the values are available. So this curve is getting plotted for 3480 to 3755 feet. If I'll keep this scroll down with the control button pressed, you will see this is the curve available. Let's plot another gamma ray curve from a different data set. So either I can find by scrolling down, or you can always type something in here. So let's press G, and you will see all the channels with the name G are visible. So any of the channel have a letter G, you can see that. So in the second track we have, sorry, in the second data set we have gamma ray with the name of ECGR EDTC. So I'll drag it on the right side and you will see it will get plotted. So now we have two GR tracks. For the third track, we can always select the gamma ray from here. It has the same name as the second track, second data set. I'll drag it again on the left side and it will get plot on the right side. So now we have successfully plotted the gamma ray curve from all these channels. I'll just delete this G so that I can see the whole data, and I'll minimize the data sets. Okay, let's analyze what it's showing. So if I click outside, this will show the limit of the whole plot area. So it's showing the limitation. We can select a particular depth interval if you want to see from it. We can always have the selection by zonation, which we do not have loaded yet. Again, we can always change the scale. and you can see multiple options for the grid lines as well. So let's check it out. So what is this thin line for with each gamma ray curve? And we can see some yellow section, whereas in the header we have a yellow and green part. So if I move this line, I'll click this line and move it on the left side. You will see as soon as I cross the gamma ray curve, it has changed from yellow to brown. So what it's showing basically, this is a baseline, and it's showing that from the baseline to the left, anything on the gamma ray curve will get plotted as yellow, and anything on the right side will get plotted as the brown. So if I'll enlarge the scale and I move my mouse, now you can see, let me zoom in. Here you can see from the baseline to the left, there is a filled area with yellow, and from the baseline to the right, the area is brown. So this is how you can differentiate from sand to shale, or maybe limestone to shale. You can always have a good idea from here. All right, this GR is seems to be similar. So what we can do, I can select the curve and press the left arrow key from the keyboard, and you will see it's perfectly getting overlapped with the other data set. So it seems to have the same portion available in another data set, so we don't need it. So you can click on any of the curves, press delete, and it will delete only the curves. But if you will select the track and press delete, it will delete the track. We can always plot the data in the same track. So if I'll click on this gamma ray curve and hit left with the keyboard, you will see that the curve got shifted in the different track, on the left track. If I'll hit another left, it will take the curve into the depth track. If I hit another left, it won't do anything because it has nothing where it can plot. So I'll move it again on the same track. I'll delete it, the empty track. Now we have two GR curves available with two different baselines. And as soon as you will move the different baseline, you can see on the right side, the value of the baseline is very visible, 73.75. So I'll click on this baseline, which says 31.436, and under the cursor you can always see that. So we can copy this from here, click on the different baseline, and paste it in here, and you will have the same level baseline. Though we have one curve plotted at 1 is to 150 and second is plotted 1 is to 200, which doesn't make any sense. So the baselines are showing different. So it's good to have all the GR plotted in the same scale so that we are seeing the correct response of the log. So I'll click on this gamma ray, and I'll go back to the family, which is 150. And now the baselines are aligned properly. And now we can see a section that, let me reduce the scale. So now we can see a section where it says that below this depth, we have all the low GR section, and above this section, we have high GR spikes. Okay, so let's explore these options. So for example, if you click, let's start from the bottom. So if you click on the 1 is to 1, this is basically scale change. So this will show you 1 is to 5000 scale. If you click on this left side, let's go through this first. So if you click on this, whatever the view is, it will get fixed on the same scale. It will get stretched vertically and horizontally both. If you click the horizontal fix, it will keep the same because this is exactly the option. If you click the up and down arrow thing, it will take the whole curve and it will present you by adjusting the vertical scale by zooming in or zooming out. If you want to fix the horizontal scale, you can always click on it, and it will automatically fix and adjust. With this option, the display a position line and the display the value option. Once you click both of these and you will hover your mouse on the track anywhere, you will see a horizontal line which is showing at this particular depth that the depth is 3247.7, and the log curve GR reads 23.979. Let's add another channel and let's see what happens. So we will add a DT value. Let's drag it on the left side. It will always get plot on the right side automatically. So now if we hover our mouse in it, now you can see the text is being shown with the same color of the curve. At this particular depth, the depth is 3544.23 feet, GR is 31.8, and the DT or the compression slowness is showing 49.1352. So this is how you can have at a glance. If you have multiple curves plotted, you can always see all the values at a particular depth. You can always change the color of the curve, which is in the display option. The first one was the limits. The second is the display option. Here you can always change the color of the log. So if I'll click on this black box, you will see a color palette. Let's select blue. Click OK. Still you can see a red because you have selected the curve. Click outside the plot and now you can see the color change. So let's change this one too. So I'll convert it to blue as well. You can always change the color of these highlights. So if I select this highlight, color fill area, you will see the option got changed for this particular whatever you can make the changes in. So you can always create activate the opacity, like see-through thing. You can add or remove it. You can always remove it from the headers if you don't want to see the area fill from in the header. You can always rename it and make the adjustments. So the focus, what I wanted to show you, that you have yellow and brown, which doesn't make any sense. So for example, if this is a sand and shale sequence, I can click on it and I can see this is plotting color. So if I'll open it, you will see another option called pattern. I'll click on the pattern and I'll click on none, left on the none. So it will show you another option. Oh, you can plot patterns. So let's say if any of the yellow part is the sand, so I'll drag down. So this is one sand, which is thin dot sand. We can find another sand with the large data. Here it is. So we have another sand called quartz, and this one says sand. So I'll select sand. The preview is at the bottom. So this is the fine sand, and this is the coarse sand. So I'll select the coarse part. Similarly, I'll do this for this as well. Click pattern, none. Okay, now either you can drag or you can click sand in here and it will take you directly to that part. So wherever the sand text is in the text available, it will show you all the options. Okay, so I'll select the sand, click OK. And if I zoom in, you will see anything to the left of the baseline is showing as sand and anything to the right is showing as brown color. So let's change this brown to shale as well. So again, I'll click on the fill area. This time I'm going to the right side, make it pattern, select the pattern. You can type clay or shale and it will show you the clay option. Let's try shale as well. So you can use multiple text so that you can see whatever the suitable symbol for you. This seems okay. Click OK. Do the same for the other pattern. So what was the name of this pattern? Deboss shale. So I'll click on the other one. Select shale. Here it is, deboss shale. Click OK. Sorry, I think I selected the same again. Okay, I have selected the pattern, but not selected it from the plot. So we don't want to see the color, we want to see the pattern. So now you can see from the left of the baseline, it's showing sand fill, whereas on the other side, it's showing clay fill. So this is, I think, better representation to have a better idea of shale sand sequence, and you can get at a glance what is the distribution of the sand shale. You can also see as soon as you will click on the baseline, the upper menu get changed and you will see additional menus, baseline, which was not initially available. Now you have the baseline. So this is same as the Excel, Microsoft Excel, if you are used to it. If you select any of the any special thing, it will show you the additional options associated with that. You can use it from the top, or you can always use it from the right side properties as well. So if you want to switch the baseline or maybe change it, you can always use it. Hmm. For example, if you have deleted the baseline, let's plot another curve and see what happens. So I'll take the GR, drop it on the plot area, and let's suppose that you have deleted the baseline and you don't have a baseline available. How you can add a baseline? So if you will click on any of the curves, and then right click on it, you will see multiple options again from here as well. So you can either flip the scale. So it has flipped the scale from 150 to 0. It has made it, sorry, 0 to 150. It has changed to 150 to 0. Flip back, right click, add a color which will highlight anything on the left. So if I'll select this, it will ask which palette you want to use. So let's use any random palette for the time being. Let's select the default and click OK. So now as you can see, the palette is something which varies the color with its own range. So the curve we are plotting is from 0 to 150 and the palette has a different scale. So if I'll click on the palette and I want to go in the detail of this, I can add another option called dock, windows and palettes from here. And you can see the palettes on the left side. I'll hover my mouse on it and here you can see the range of this palette is from 9.9. We don't need 9.9. We need to start it from 0 to 150 feet, 150 GR API. So as soon as we will make it and click outside or something, somewhere else, you will see now the colors are getting plotted from 0 to 150. If it is reaching to 150, the curve will show red. If it is not reaching to that point, whatever the depth, the color is, it will end it in here. So I'll take the GR from this data set. We can always change it from here as well. So if I'll select on it, I don't want to use it. I want to apply a palette. You can right click from here and apply a palette. Click on palettes, use the default, click OK. Now you have both options, baseline and the color palette, whatever makes sense for you. So I don't want a baseline from here at the moment. I'll delete the baseline. And if I scroll up, you will see the color is getting changed. I'll click on the palette, go to the palette and change its scale from 0 to 150. So what we are saying that if the color is 0, use this purple color. If color is one up to sorry, the value is up to 150, turn it to red. And in between, the value will get changed from green, yellow, and other colors as well. Now you can see if I'll enlarge the scale by keeping the control button pressed and moving the scroll wheel, yeah, you will see there are some variation in this part, and then we have less GR values. So this is another way of correlation. While we'll be making the correlation, this will be easy to highlight. Okay, there is a box section which is almost a red color or a high value, and then there is a larger box which is like a thick box. We can correlate it, and then in between there is a spike. So this will be helpful while we'll be uh, correlating multiple well logs as well. Okay, so there is a hell of amount of options to plot. And for example, if you will click right click on it, and it will show you more options. If you want to display the points, so it will show all the points data wherever the values are available, and rest is extrapolated. If you want to plot a histogram out of it, create a histogram, insert a histogram. So there are two different. So if I create a histogram, it will plot the whole curve data in one single histogram. And we can discuss this in another video, the detail of the histogram, how you can use that and how you will read it. And no, I don't want to save this. And there is another option, insert a histogram. So let's click on that. I'll select the curve and insert a histogram. So what it will do, it will create the histogram for that particular depth interval, sorry. So currently this is plotting from 3083 to 3117. So if I click on the curve, so the depth is from 24942 to 3513. So it has plotted this interval. If you have the tops available, you can plot it by tops or the zonation as well. So let's try to plot at this depth. No, I want to use another track. So here you can see different type of curve is plotted because this is a high value range area and this part was a low GR value area. So it's showing different tracks in different plot view. So I'll delete both of these tracks. All right. So let's plot few more curves. Let's see if we have something to plot in this data set. So let's plot caliper. And if you are having difficulty to find it, again, I'll show you the easy way. Type in Cali or maybe C. So you can see C1 caliper. Um, okay, let's select both of these curves and drag in here. So we have two caliper curves available, C1 and C2. Showing from 6 to 16, it means the whole, if the hole is gauge, and if you hover your mouse, the hole size is 8.5, and we can use a baseline to do that. So if I'll click on this cursor on this curve, right click on it, add a baseline, which is in here. If I'll add a baseline and leave it in here, now it is plotting the hole size and the caliper reading. I want to fix the hole size, the baseline on 8.5 exactly. How I can do that? Either I can move it slightly left or right, or I can simply go in the right properties area, 8.5 from the keyboard, and that's it. Similarly for this curve, I'll right click on it, add a baseline, click anywhere, select the baseline, make it 8.5. And now you can see one curve is showing the caliper over gauge and one is showing under gauge. So now the interpretation part we'll be covering in another video. So currently I'm showing you how to plot the data. So this is how you can plot the curves. If you have only one caliper, like for example, if you have only one caliper, C2, let's call it, I'll drag another C2 curve and I'll flip the scale either by clicking on the inverted in here or just right click and invert the scale from here. This is one way. I'll flip it again and I'll flip the scale for this curve. Now, if I'll give this one another baseline and keep it at 8.5 by clicking the baseline and make it 8.5. Now this is showing a well bore section like this. You can see the inside of the well bore. Let's remove this. So now you can see a good view of the hole. So you can see at this part the hole is a bit over gauge, and this part you can see some washouts which are ranging up to 10 inches. So this is the over gauge section, whereas the rest of the caliper you can see it's reducing at this depth. So this is a quick view of the logs, the calipers. Okay, so this is the simplest way. You can yourself that drag and drop multiple curves and see how those are getting plotted, if those are making any sense to you. So let's try to find some nuclear data. Okay, so similarly, if you have the neutron density data available, you can plot those curves and you can select two different curves in single track. So let me move this caliper on the other side and select both the curves by keeping the control button clicked and right click on it, and it will show you another option in between by filling the color in between. So if I'll select this color in between, you will see now this is plotting something uh, area filled between two curves. And if you have the neutron density data overlapping, the curves are crossing each other, you will see a different curve, the gas effect you call, in between, and you will have the different color on the either side of the data. Um, okay, so with the available data, I want to show you another thing. As we have calculated the TVD and TVDSS out of it, we can always add multiple reference curves. So this is MD curve. If you want to add another TVD as side by side, you can right click on it and add a depth curve or add a reference curve track. This is all again showing the MD. You can see this is again showing the MD. We want to change it and show the TVD. So you can, once you click on this track, you will see the options available, and here the reference management. You will see if you want to select the TVD subsea below mudline or something. So if I select the TVD, now this is showing the TVD values. Though it's not showing the TVD values, we'll fix it. Why? Then I can add another track. This should show TVD SS. So I'll select the TVD subsea. Okay. Let me arrange the horizontally and see why the values are not here. So if I select the TVD column first, maybe we can select both of these together and fix it at once. But let me show you one by one. So if I select the depth curve, the TVD curve, and here you can see it's showing the values matching the layout grid. If I select the matching the layout grid, what will happen? It's not making any changes. Yeah, it is showing the data from here because oh, it's showing -99. Let's see. If I uncheck both of these curves and I'll select 10 in here, now it's showing the depth at every 10 feet level. 3360. Let me remove these two options. So 3360, 3370, 3380. This is how you can change the density of the depth markers. So 3500, 3550, it's showing every 50 meter. I want to see every 10 meters. So I'll select this channel, remove this checkbox, use the reference grid layout. I'll enter 10 in here, click outside it, and you will see the 10 meter interval. Similarly for the 3VDSS, uncheck this box. We don't want to use the system grid. We want to use every 10 feet or 10 meter. You can always change it to 5 meter as well, like as large or as low you want to see. So this is and on the same depth. If you want to see what is the TVD and TVDSS, now you can click both these two options so that you can see a line. So at 3530 feet MD, the TVD is 3400 1 meter, and the TVDSS is 1961 as per our given KB and ground elevation. So this is how you can add multiple tracks, the multiple reference track, which you can always move from left to right as well. All right. So once we have the TVD calculated, we can plot a 3D curve out of it. So let me, if I'll go to the plot area and select the 3D field from the advanced plotting. We can always use the cross plot. We'll be using it in the next videos, the histogram, line plot, and the cross plot. Let me quickly show you the 3D plot. So if I'll click on the 3D plot, it's showing two windows. Why? Because we have selected the floating window mode. If we select the other option, now that windows can overlap each other. But if you will keep on the floating mode, it will accommodate in the available area. If I select the full screen, now this is showing two ways. We don't want to see both of these plots, so we can always close it. Yeah, before closing it, let me show you something. So if you have we'll go back to the 3D plot shortly. So if you have plotted something like GR, sonic data, caliper data, resistivity, and other data you have plotted, and you are satisfied with this layout, you don't want to close it without saving it. So you can, once you'll be closing it, it will ask you for the saving, or you can right click any of in the empty area and click this control save the layout. As soon as you will select it, what it will do, it will open the workspace and it will ask you. So I'll call it well one logs layout. So this is the logs layout where it just gone. So it went into the layout section. If I'll open this window, you will see a well one logs layout is saved. So what it will help, if you close the window, this time it did not ask you because we just saved the window. Let me close this for a while as well. Now, I don't need to plot the curves again and again. I will simply open it and it will show you everything which you have plotted and saved. As the change is made, the scale change, whatever you have made the changes, you don't need to reopen it, recreate it again and again. You can simply open it by double clicking. You can save multiple layouts, and you can always save the templates as well. So for example, if you will save this as a template, which you can do by going into the multi-well, like you have open the plotted area, you will see a multi-well layout option. You can click on it, go to the save option. There is a save option, which is simple, Control S. There is a save layout. If you want to save this layout, you have multiple layout open. And there is another option, save as a template. So if you will save this as a template, which you can always click in here and say logs layout. Click OK. Now you have two different things, logs layout and well one layout. So if you will close all the windows and you will click on the well one layout, it will open the same thing, but only with the well one loaded automatically. If you close this and you open the layout, this will ask you, okay, this is the layout. Do you want to plot it on a particular well or a data set sample? So, for example, if you have a different data set and you want to use the same log plot view for a different data set, you can always select the data set. I'll select the well template. Currently, we have only one well available, so it's showing well one. So I'll open it, open this one. Once we have more data to it, we can always select a different well to plot in the same format we saved as a layout, template layout. So this will help you to plot another well in the same. So this is it for this video. We'll see you soon in another video with further plots. Thank you.